I'm reporter Dolly Butts. I cover city government, and I'm joined today by Sioux City Mayor Bob Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Bob is going to answer some questions about the city's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Would you consider this one of the biggest crises you've had to deal with as mayor?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it affected the whole city. I was here in the flood of 1990, which was horrible for the west side, but never have I experienced anything in my whole lifetime like this. I never dreamt I would be part of basically shutting down a city. I just didn't ever see that happening like it has.
Talk about how much of your day is consumed by pandemic response and planning.
Well, the good news is, you know, the Siouxland Health has really taken the lead. They've done a great job. Kevin there and his staff are doing a tremendous job of putting all this stuff together. So I really haven't had to spend a lot of time. I get emails all the time about what's going on. But they've got a plan in place if in case we were supposed to have a really outbreak in Sioux City and the hospitals would fill and all that. They're working on contingency plans, and obviously they set up that service to do the testing outside of hospitals very quickly. So I think they've done a great job, and I would look forward to them continuing to do a great job.
Talk about the thought process that went into deciding to close city facilities and parks.
Well, that wasn't easy. But, you know, when we know that if you get too close to people, there's a potential that all of our employees in City Hall could become sick with that, we decided that it was better to close City Hall and do it by appointments than anything else. And I think as long as we do it by appointment, we're still available to the public. You know, that's a program that should work for the short term here. Obviously, for a guy like me, I don't like closing off a city council meeting, but when the governor kind of orders it, we've got to do it, and so we've done that separation and all the things that are required. The parks were a little bit more difficult because people are, you know, obviously suffering from cabin fever, a lot of them, but we saw, especially in the area of the kids playing basketball and that, they were just too close, and the potential to spread would have been great had we not done that. And you know, those decisions are difficult at best because you want your citizens to still be able to get out and have some fresh air, but the other side of the coin is we've got to limit the activities that bring them real close together. So.
And readers have told us that they've seen large groups of people congregating at basketball courts, soccer fields and such. Do you think that there's more that the city can do as far as enforcement? You know, would you send police officers in to break up those gatherings?
Well, I think they're doing that now. I think we're when the police drive by and see a gathering larger than what it should be, they are asking them to break it up and to not congregate like that. You know, and we have that right to do that, and we should be doing that. And I know the public, some of the kids in that won't understand that, but you know, the reality is this thing that we don't need in New York City. We don't need it spreading like a wildfire, and it can, unfortunately, the way this disease spreads. So we're going to continue to do those type of enforcements, and you know, looking at the bars and all those sort of things, driving by and making sure that they're not having people congregate there.
Overall, how do you think the residents of Sioux City are doing?
Well, if they're like a lot of us, they're kind of tired of being cooped up and wanting to have this get over. But you know, I think that a lot more people are wearing masks. I think we're doing a great job to think that, you know, we probably have less people infected in Sioux City than towns half our size or a quarter of our size. So I think they've taken it very seriously, which I'm glad they have, because I think it is something you need to take terribly serious. So I think if we can weather the next 2 or 3 weeks around here, and the weather changes and does get warmer, which they think will have an impact, we might come out of this not in too bad a shape. So hopefully the next 2 weeks will tell the tale.
Do you think that there's anything that residents can do better?
No, I mean, in these times, people get impatient at the grocery store. They get impatient at food places and that sort of thing, and I understand that. But I think if anything, just our life is a little different today than it was a month ago, and we've just got to learn to adjust. And it's not easy for a person like me to adjust. At my age, I don't like to adjust anything, but I've had to, and I think our citizens, by and large, are doing a very good job at that, and I just hope they would continue. And I know the next 3 or 4 weeks is going to be tough, but I hope we can get through that without any major outbreak.
Governor Reynolds has not issued a stay-at-home order. What is your opinion regarding her decision, and what powers does city government have? Could you issue a stay-at-home order for the city?
Well, first of all, let me answer that. No, I've had people ask me to do that, and the governor early in the process said that I had that authority, but that's not the case at all. Only the governor has that authority to do that. And, you know, we don't have all the data that the governor has right now. We don't have all the facts that she's privy to. I would say, on balance, I think she's done a reasonably good job. Maybe you could have reacted to some of the businesses that were allowed to stay open early in the process that just recently got closed this week. But you know, it's easy to second guess people in these situations. I'm not going to do that. I think she's doing a pretty good job, and in light of the fact that you know, this came upon at least the Des Moines and Iowa City area rather quickly. So, and it appears that the numbers are peaking. Yesterday was a horrible day for the nation, you know, the largest number of deaths. And I think we just have to watch that in Iowa, and as long as that curve begins to go down, that's important. If it doesn't, then I think there's no question she'll have to issue the stay-at-home. I just hope if we get to that point, it's not too late, that a lot of people's lives are in jeopardy because of it. But you know, she's got to make those decisions. That's what her job is, and I'm not going to second guess her. I can see why you would want to do that, but I can also see with the numbers why maybe she thinks it's under control.
Obviously, the Tyson Event Center and Orpheum Theater, now they're hurting due to the closure and cancellation of upcoming shows. Now the council, when you guys were working on the budget, reduced the budget for Spectre by $100,000. In light of the current situation, do you think that there might have to be some tweaks to help them out?
Well, and I just got a report today, you should be able to get it today, that actually shows that their subsidy is going to be down $100,000 this year as opposed to the year before when the year ends. And actually, believe it or not, having less concerts as far as operations go may be a better deal, because if you don't make money on a concert, it's not a horribly bad deal, because the last few concerts they've actually lost money. So no, I don't think so. I guess if a bigger concern for me is sales tax revenue and how it's going to impact this community, because it's going to have a significant impact. The hotel motel tax obviously will be affected, but sales tax is a big item, and when people are not going out shopping at all, you know, for anything basically, we're going to see a downturn in that we're going to probably have to address, and we're probably going to have to put some contingency plans. I just talked to Bob this morning about that. You know, maybe, who knows what we'll have to do, but you got to look at all that sort of stuff now, unfortunately, that we weren't prepared to look at.
Mm-hmm. Can you kind of expand on that, the pandemic's impact on the 2 hotels that are set to open in the spring and summer, and then also the convention center and the city's plans to revitalize downtown?
Well, the convention center, you know, they've done a pretty good job of limiting their costs there, so it may not come out as bad, but obviously, you know, it's wedding season and it's convention season and all those sort of things, so they're going to get hurt, and they make money on their events, so they're going to get hurt, no question about that. The new hotel, from my understanding, is that Marriott's not sending any people out, and until your Marriott rep comes out and approves the hotel, you're not able to open it. So it's on hold until this thing blows over, and then there's going to be some catch up for them, because there's going to be some lost business that they thought they had that they don't. The other hotel, hopefully June or July is the opening on that. Hopefully by then, a lot of this hopefully will be behind us. So.
Is there anything that the city can do as far as loans to help small business owners?
No, but there's, you know, I've been working with clients this whole week, and there's a lot of money available through this money that just came out of Congress for small businesses to help make payrolls and those sort of things. So if people are really in need, they should get a hold of their banker right away, and the bankers that I've been dealing with have been more than willing to take the applications and work on the process. So I think there's help out there. My fear is that $350 billion, I know that sounds like an awfully large sum of money, and it is obviously, but it's not, to spread it around to small businesses all over the United States, it's probably not a whole lot of money. And, the other thing is we need to get where we open the city back up, and we need to get the $2,400 to the couples or plus the kids, get that money rolling in the economy again, and hopefully we can right this ship rather quickly. It was good to see the stock market was going back up today, so there's at least a little confidence out there today.
What about property tax relief for homeowners?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you're talking a budget that we certified a year ago. We're still in that budget a year ago, and this year we actually did, as you know, lower the property taxes on a house, not just the levy, but actually lowered that property tax. And we're still fighting with the state on that 8%. We were supposed to have a meeting with the conference board, and because of all this, we had to cancel it today because I didn't think a FaceTime meeting was. We need to all be there and talk about whether we continue that lawsuit or not, which I'm supportive of, because I think that would then give relief for the year we're in.
People might say with fewer, people driving vehicles on the street that now is the time that the city should be patching potholes. Are pothole projects in the works right now?
Yeah, and plus, on Monday's agenda, we approved 2 large asphalt overlays on Correctionville Road, and I can't think where the other one is, but we passed 2 large projects, and we've got 2 or 3 more bidding. So a lot of those streets that are really in bad shape, like Douglas Street was last year, and we're going to redo Stone Park Boulevard up by the hospital, those are in the works to be done yet this year. So, and our crews are out working on potholes. I mean, those crews are still in the field working. I'm a little concerned that they should be working with masks on that. We're trying to buy some, which is not easy. We're trying to buy some of that protective equipment right now.
If Governor Reynolds would issue an order to suspend construction, how would that affect city projects?
Well,
particularly road construction.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think it would put us behind. Obviously, you only have so many days in Iowa to work, but it's hopefully again. I'm just hopeful that if China could solve a lot of this problem as quickly as they did, that it'll be solved in America pretty quickly, and that need for that won't arise. If it does, then obviously we'll pull our crews off the street. We're not going to do anything that would violate that.
What concerns do you have for the safety of police officers? Are they being issued masks or other protective equipment?
Yeah, so I understand but not like I would hope they would, because they, again, I asked Bob if we had any masks, and we tried to buy some, and unfortunately, they're difficult to find. And so we're trying to acquire them through other sources. But it's difficult for police officers because they're in the, police and fire and ambulance workers are really, really under fire right now. I'm really worried about them, as we all should be, because they don't have a choice. When they have an incident, they have to go. So we're just going to have to continue to monitor them and make sure that they're staying healthy, as we can allow them to be under these circumstances.
How has the pandemic affected you personally?
Well, it hasn't been that terribly bad, other than we've asked a lot of our clients to just drop off their stuff rather than to have them come in. Some of them still do so. We're maintaining the distance. We're scrubbing down our offices, every client. We're using a lot of hand sanitizers. We're washing our hands a lot. And so it's, I never dreamt that I would do tax returns with people with masks on, and that I never saw that coming, but I'm glad that the people are wearing them, and that I think it's for the betterment of everybody. So.
Is there anything else that you would like to add that you think would be important for people to know?
Well, just like I said Monday, I hope that our citizens understand that nobody's enjoying this time in our community. Nobody's saying, "Gosh, I wish this would happen more often." So I would just hope that they would remain patient with all the processes, whether it be late delivery of the newspapers, or a restaurant that's 10 minutes longer getting their food to them, or the city not responding exactly as quickly as they think they should. I would hope that we remain somewhat patient through this process, and I know when you're cooped up and that, tempers can get out of hand and that. So I just hope that we're all a little bit more understanding of each other at the end of the day, because we'll get through this, and then we'll get through it as a community, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. So hopefully it'll happen quicker than I think it will, but I just hope that we can get through this and the city will get going again, because we were doing pretty well there for a while, and it's unfortunate that this had to happen from the local economy.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate it.
We hope that you'll come back.
I will, thank you, appreciate it.